Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can I firstly welcome you all to City Hall and tonight's workshop? And secondly, can I thank you for attending? There are a couple of pieces of business that I need to cover before we move off into the workshop. One is a health warning, non-swine flu related. And that is that if you cast your eyes down the agenda, you will see that it's a very intense set of items that we need to cover. And it is currently planned for us to cover those across 3 hours. 3 hours is a long time, so I'm proposing to slightly trim each of the sections within the agenda to hopefully ensure that we finish within 2.5 hours. And the reason that I'm doing that is that I don't believe that boring people into submission is a way for Westminster Council to conduct proper public consultation. And the second item is really a housekeeping item to let you know, if you hadn't already worked it out, that tonight's event is being recorded in order that we're able to put it onto the council's website after the meeting, and also it will form a piece of the evidence which is presented to a planning inspector later down the process as we move through to adoption of the city management plan. Now, hopefully, most of you will know why we're here. This is part of an ongoing consultation process to inform Westminster Council's city management plan, which is a document of biblical proportions, which we use and contains all of the various policies in some considerable detail that we employ when we determine planning applications at Westminster Council. This is session 10 of 11 sessions, and this evening we're going to be concentrating on travel choice and public realm. The purpose of the workshop is to examine and to document choices and options around transport in Westminster, and there are a number of sections of the agenda that you will have observed, which are fairly self-explanatory, and we'll move through those during the course of the evening. Now, if you agree or disagree with any of the options or choices which are presented, you will have the opportunity to voice your support or opposition as we go through or after tonight's meeting, because you will be receiving a record of what was discussed this evening. The point that I would like to labour is that it isn't necessary for us to reach a consensus or agreement this evening. Now, lastly, I'd just like to thank you once again and to say that I hope you enjoy the session, but it's important for everybody in the room, and it's certainly important for us at Westminster Council that you participate actively, because this is your opportunity to contribute to a very substantial piece of work which will be very influential in the way that we develop the city in the coming years. So I'm now going to hand over to Tom, who's going to facilitate the workshop.
Thank you, Councillor Chalkley. My name is Tom Kimber. Although I work for the Council, I'm in the planning policy team. I'm very much here as a facilitator to help run the workshop this evening. Now, I know many of you are regular attendees at these workshops, but just a couple of initial points I wanted to make. Firstly, toilets. If you need the toilet, there's men's toilet just along here, ladies through on the other side. I'd also like to make an initial apology about the lights in here, that if it does get a bit dark, that's because the lights are light movement sensitive lights, so I do apologise for that. And finally, be grateful if you could return your badges at the end of the night, as we're obviously trying to recycle and reuse the badges. We've also got a roving mic, as Roger carrying the mic around, so if you do have a question, please wait for the microphone. Also, if you don't wish to comment verbally, I'd just like to point out we do have some posters with all the questions along the side of the room, so if you don't have an opportunity to raise your point during this workshop, please feel free to write your comments up on the posters down the side. We've got a panel of officers here tonight. We've got Ian Morrison, Chris Mason and Sarah Whitnell. Their role is very much to listen to your views and to add any clarification to